Happy Flex Friday to everybody out there. CJ Curry back with another NBA Prize Picks video. We're going to be looking at some NBA player props. I'm going to continue to look at these field goal attempt props because it's one of the few props where Prize Picks can't necessarily copy all the sports books, and that's a good thing for us. Props like field goal attempts, fantasy score, anything we can get an edge using some player prop projection models over the Prize Picks where they can't copy the sports books is a good thing for us. But before we get into today's picks, we have a matter of business to take care of. The other day I mentioned in my video that it was my birthday, which it was on Wednesday, and you guys are all wondering, how old am I actually turning? How old am I now? A couple days have went by, and there were a lot of great guesses. We had over 100 comments in that video, but now is the time where I reveal the truth about my age. A lot of you guys guessed in the upper 20s. A lot of you guys guessed in the lower 30s. Some of you guys went over 40, but there was only 4 people, according to my notes here, 4 people amongst all the comments that actually guessed the right number. And that right number is 40. Yes, that's true. December the 3rd, 1985 is my birthday. I turned 40 years old the other day, so congratulations to the following 4 people. If you're one of these people who left a comment saying I was 40 years old in my last video, you're a winner. I'll give you a free month of Dub Club. If you're already a Dub Club member, I'll just add an extra month onto your existing subscription, and we'll go from there. So starting with the first one, Eddie Davis 6152. He guessed 40. You are correct, Eddie. I am 40 indeed. Music Mike, another one who guessed 40 years of age. You are correct. King Anon? I hope I'm saying that right. 4405. I know who you are, bro. But hit me up. Send me a DM. You are correct. I did turn 40 years old the other day. And the other one is Zarati Karate 2037. Hell of a name. You were also correct in your guess of 40 years of age. So happy birthday to me. I am 40. For those of you who guessed below 40, thank you. I'm very flattered that I don't look my age, or according to some of you, act my age. So I'll take that as a compliment. Anyway, let's get into today's NBA player prop picks. Of course, we're using Shot Quality's NBA projection models. Take a look at some of these. I've already got a few of them pulled up here, and we'll talk about why these are looking good. And start things off with my Orlando Magic. Desmond Bane at 15.5 field goal attempts. The over looking like the best way to play Desmond Bane's field goal attempts. And yes, Paolo Banchero will be back tonight for Orlando, but he's expected to be somewhat limited. I don't think he'll play even 30 minutes tonight. I'm expecting somewhere around the 25-minute range for Paolo as he works his way back from that groin strain. And really, the way that Orlando has been playing lately has been mostly good, and so they don't necessarily need to rush him back and play him 35, 40 minutes tonight against the Miami Heat. They can kind of ease him along due to the depth and talent that the Orlando Magic possess on that team. But anyway, Desmond Bane at 15.5 field goal attempts. Let's take a look at the projections over on Shot Quality. Shot Quality, a great NBA projection model. No, it's not always going to get them all right, but it gets a lot right. Definitely more right than wrong. So I got out the calculator here so you guys can see me add these up in real time. Desmond Bane is projected for 10.84 two-point attempts and 7.77 three-point attempts, which brings him to 18.61 field goal attempts. Now, even though Paolo's back, Bane has had a lot of games with Paolo, with Suggs this season, with Franz Wagner playing, where he has right around 14, 15 field goal attempts. But there was one game in his game logs where he actually did go over 15.5 field goal attempts with Paolo, Suggs, Franz all playing alongside of him, and that was against this Miami Heat team. It was the first game of the season where Bane was able to put up, I think it was 18 field goal attempts in that game. So, yes, he is projected to go over at 18.61. His line on PrizePicks is just 15.5, so that is pick number 1 for you. The next one is Shaedon Sharpe of the Portland Trail Blazers. Now, Sharpe had been clearing his field goal attempt prop pretty easily, but then he was dealing with some injuries. They kind of limited his minutes where he played under like 25 minutes in back-to-back games, but now over the last couple of games, his minutes are back over 30 per night. Played just over 32 games ago, and then increased that to just between 30 and 35 one game ago. And now they're playing Detroit tonight, and he's at 16.5 field goal attempts. So kind of looking at Shaedon Sharpe's numbers here, the games in which he is played in. He's got a 56% hit rate overall, but I wanted to emphasize the games where he's played at least like 25 plus minutes, because his hit rates start to get a lot better when you look at those games. And 77% hit rate here according to Outlier. 10 out of 13 times he has gone over 16.5 field goal attempts. So they expected to play closer to like 30 minutes tonight. So even if you wanted to bump this up, you could go all the way up to like 30. And the games where he's played at least 30 minutes, he's got 4 out of 5 and 80% hit rate. Even if he doesn't quite reach 30, 29 minutes, still an 86% hit rate, 28 minutes, 82% hit rate. So even at 27 minutes, an 83% hit rate. So he's done a really good job here of clearing his field goal attempt props in games where he's, kind of hit that 25 or more minute threshold. So let's take a look at the projections for him over on Shot Quality. Shot Quality's got a very generous projection today for Shaedon Sharpe. We'll start with the 2-point attempts, which are projected for 12.2. And then when we add in the 3-point attempts, they have him attempting about 8.13 3-point attempts, which brings him up to 20.33 total field goal attempts. And again, his line is sitting out here at just 16.5. So as long as he's getting the minutes, 25 or more minutes, he should be a pretty good look here at 16.5. The next one is Keontae George of the Utah Jazz. He's taking on the New York Knicks tonight. He's at 15.5 field goal attempts. We tried taking the over on his Demon a couple videos ago. Did not work out for us. He is coming off of a game where he just put up like 20 field goal attempts in that game. So let's take a closer look here at some Keontae George projections over on Shot Quality. Keontae George, one of the key contributors for the Utah Jazz, but the Utah backcourt is a little healthier now than they were in some of the earlier games from the season. So that's kind of something to keep in mind here. But Keontae George sitting at 9.36 2-point attempts. And when you take a look at the 3-point attempts, 8.64. So that brings him to a total of 18 field goal attempts today, according to Shot Quality's advanced analytics. So 18 on a number of 15.5 is a pretty nice projection compared to the differential here. The next guy is Donovan Mitchell of the Cleveland Cavaliers. If we take a look at Cleveland's injury situation, I mean, they are just plagued with injuries. Jared Allen already ruled out, as is Darius Garland, Sam Merrill, Larry Nance, Proctor, and Max Strus. Of course, I don't think he's played one game this season. So Cleveland very short-handed. And adding on to all of their injury woes is Evan Mobley, listed as questionable tonight. Not sure if Mobley's going to play or not, but as of right now, questionable. I kind of think he will suit up since he's only dealing with like an illness. It's one of those things where you can kind of play through it. If you're feeling decent enough, you can get out there. Plus, they just got fined like $250,000 because I guess Darius Garland was considered healthy enough to play, and he didn't play a couple games back. And it's the second time Cleveland's been fined big bucks, 6-figure fines for resting players who could have and should have played. So kind of interesting to see that. I think Evan Mobley will try to give it a go tonight. But nonetheless, Mitchell sitting at 23.5 field goal attempts, and he has been putting up a ton of shots lately with all of the issues and injuries in that Cleveland backcourt. So let's look at the projections here for Donovan Spider Mitchell. He is projected for 13.58 field goal attempts from the 2-point area, and then another 12.14 3-point attempts. So his grand total is 25.72 field goal attempts. And I wanted to tell you that this projection is including Evan Mobley playing. So it's factoring in Evan Mobley being active tonight for Cleveland. Now, if for some reason Evan Mobley decides he's not feeling well enough to play, well, then Donovan Mitchell's field goal attempts, I think, would even be higher than 25.72 on this projection. I think he would have even more shots in his arsenal tonight. But nonetheless, even if Mobley plays, the projection stands at 25.72 as of right now. So looking really nice for this particular projection. PrizePicks just decided to crash on me. Does that ever happen to you? It crashes on me a lot in the browser for some reason. Moving on to the next field goal attempt prop. This one's coming from the Milwaukee Bucks. And as you guys may have heard, Giannis strained his calf, and he will not be playing for the next few weeks from what it sounds like. And so one guy that kind of caught my eye in regard to that, a guy who has stepped up and kind of taken the opportunity or made the most of his opportunity, is Kyle Kuzma of the Milwaukee Bucks, who's sitting at 9.5 field goal attempts today. So I was able to pull up some information here on games played by Kyle Kuzma with Giannis Antetokounmpo out. So Kuzma should step into a larger role, filling in for some of those forward minutes that are vacated by Giannis. And with those minutes comes more opportunities to take some shots. And in the games where Kuzma's played without Giannis, he's actually done a really good job of going over 9.5 field goal attempts. As you can see on the screen here using Outlier, he has now cleared 9.5 field goal attempts in all but one game. In that one game against Portland, he had 9. So he was right there, really close to that 9.5 field goal attempt number. But he put up 10 against Golden State, 12 against Charlotte, 14 against Philly, who is tonight's opponent. Another 10 field goal attempt output against the Detroit Pistons. We already mentioned the 9 against Portland, and then 11 against the Miami Heat. So he's gone over in 5 out of 6 games played without Giannis this season. The only real key difference of this Milwaukee Bucks team recently, a key addition that they got back, was Kevin Porter Jr., but that's more going to impact guys like Rollins and some of the other guards like Gary Trent Jr. off the bench and such. And so I don't think it'll impact Kuzma a whole lot. I think Kuzma will pretty much maintain a similar role to what he's had in previous games without Giannis. So anyway, very nice hit rates here, as you can see, for Kyle Kuzma when Giannis sits. Take a look at the projection now for Mr. Kyle Kuzma over on Shot Quality. They have a projection of about 7.58 two-point attempts and another 4.02 for the three-point attempts, which brings his total projected field goal attempts to 11.6. So they do have him clearing that 9.5 number where he's at over on PrizePicks. So if I were to narrow this down for some of you out there who are, kind of looking at okay, if I were to just take 2, make a 2 pick out of all of these, who would you pick? Well, it would probably be Kyle Kuzma, and then hopefully Shaedon Sharpe gets his 25 plus minutes like we talked about earlier. And you could probably put Shaedon Sharpe in there over 16.5 field goal attempts. I think these have some really good data behind them, good historical hit rates, obviously good projections, or else I wouldn't be talking about them. But yeah, maybe if you wanted to make a 2 pick, you kind of go with those. But that's all I've got for today. You guys let me know down in the comments section below. Any of these standing out to you more than the others? This is just what I found. This is just my research. Hopefully you're here gathering information. You can dig a little deeper if you want to and make your own decisions. But the NBA's been tough. There are a lot of injuries, a lot of players getting ruled out due to illness and injury. So we're just trying to do the best we can, guys. We'll catch you in another video real soon. If you're in Dub Club and Discord, I'll be dropping more picks, plays, parlays, and slips throughout the evening. Catch you in the next one. Peace.